Would some honourable member care to move that the House take note of miscellaneous business? The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, well, we're still waiting. We're still waiting this week for the Labor Party to commit to buying back the share of the 49% of the energy companies that the government is planning to sell mainly to New Zealanders. Now, New Zealand First has made that undertaking. New Zealand First has shown that the Labor Party has persuaded New Zealand First that their arguments are so strong, New Zealand First should go and buy them back if they have a role in a future government. But the Labor Party hasn't been able to persuade itself. It hasn't. It's been in here arguing hour after hour, day after day, week after week, that these proposed share offers are fiscally irresponsible, economic nonsense, sell out to foreigners, but they're not so fiscally irresponsible that they're going to buy them back. They're not such a sellout to foreigners that they're going to buy them back. They're not such an economic nonsense that they're going to buy them back. So, Mr Speaker, the Labor Party have one more parliamentary day tomorrow for the leader to set some direction. To set some direction and show that the Labor Party really believe the arguments they're making in the House. And so far, it hasn't happened. I thought it would because they persuaded me they really cared about this. It was the centre of their election campaign. Surely it's not the case that Labor campaigned all 2011 election against asset sales and they never intended to buy them back. Surely that's not the case. Surely they didn't mislead the New Zealand public about how desperate they are to save New Zealand and New Zealanders from the evils of the sale of these shares. Well, Mr Speaker, a seed of doubt is growing in my heart. A seed of doubt is growing in my heart that Labor won't promise to buy them back. Let's just take them through the accounting that they'd be signing up to. So let's say they're the government and they say the sale of those shares is terrible. So this is what they have to do. First thing is they have to go to the international money markets and borrow $5 to $7 billion. Not just off your grandmother, off big corporate foreign multinationals. That's what they have to. That's the first thing. Then they have to take those billions and pay it out in lump sums to shareholders that they've told this House are a small elite. Okay, so that'll be the first action of a Labor government. Borrow it off foreign multinationals and pay it out in lump sums to a small elite to buy their shares off them. And then the next thing that happens, these companies stop paying dividends into the super fund. They stop paying dividends to Kiwi savers, 2 million of them. They stop paying dividends to iwi and to tens of thousands of New Zealand families who had the shares and were getting dividends, and those dividends were flowing to them. Guess where that money goes? They then have to start paying interest to big corporate foreign multinationals for the money that they borrowed. And I can see a seed of doubt in David Cunliffe's heart as well. Because how is he going to explain to the aspirational electrician in his electorate who bought those shares that he has to sell them back to the government so that the government can borrow $7 billion and pay interest on it to a foreign multinational instead of into the electrician's savings account? It's no wonder they haven't made the undertaking yet. or will we be surprised by Thursday night? Mr. Speaker, let's see. There's only 27 hours to go.
The question is the motion be agreed to. Gareth Hughes.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker. Namahinui kia koutou. Kia ora.